Welcome to the Baboom Baboom podcast, your go-to source for expert tips on car stereo installation, vehicle wiring, and all things wiring related. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started, we've got the advice to help you power up your ride. Get ready to crank up the volume on your knowledge and make your next wiring project a success.
All right, ready to untangle a little mystery today. We're diving into the world of electrical wiring, and more specifically, getting up close and personal with the yellow wire.
Yeah, you know how we color code everything these days? It's not just to make things like pretty. In the world of wiring, those colors are like the language electricians use to keep things safe and working right. And the yellow wire, well, it's got a pretty important job to do.
Okay, so less about aesthetics, more about making sure my lights actually turn on then. But why yellow? What makes that color so special?
It's about having a universal language in the world of electricity. Imagine looking at a jumble of wires. You need to instantly know what each one does, right? So that yellow, it means something very specific, especially when you're dealing with the kind of wiring you find in your house.
So it's kind of like the electrical version of a big warning sign. But instead of danger, it's telling us something important about how the system works.
Exactly. Think of that yellow wire like a bridge. You hit the light switch, you're basically raising a drawbridge, letting the power flow across that yellow wire and into the light bulb. That's its main gig, being a switch leg, bringing power to anything that's activated by, well, a switch.
Okay, now I'm picturing a little yellow wire working overtime every time I decide I need more light in here. We're talking any kind of switch then, lamps, ceiling fans, even that thing in the kitchen I'm too scared to look inside.
You got it. Anything you're switching on or off in your house is probably relying on that yellow wire to make the connection happen. But, and here's the interesting part, it's not just stuck doing housework.
Hold on. My mind is already a little blown that the yellow wire is basically running my life at home. Are you telling me there's more?
It's like the Swiss Army knife of the electrical world. Think about what happens when you start your car. Under all that metal and those fancy gadgets, there's a 12-volt yellow wire that's essential to getting that engine going.
Get out of here. So it's not just keeping my living room bright, it's also the reason I can actually get to work in the morning. This little wire is a rock star.
You know how sometimes you have to jumpstart a car and you end up connecting those jumper cables to the car's frame instead of directly to the battery? Yeah, you're basically turning the entire car frame into a giant yellow wire to get that power flowing. Pretty cool, right?
Okay, you just blew my mind. Now I'm going to be looking at my car completely differently. But hold on. If it's in my house, it's in my car, where else is this magic wire hiding?
Well, since you asked, ever wonder what's keeping you comfortable in this very room? Yeah, your HVAC system, the one keeping you cool in the summer and warm in the winter, you guessed it. The yellow wire is part of that operation too.
You wrestle with me right at Mart. This little wire is holding our modern lives together. It's like the silent hero of electricity, working behind the scenes.
And just like any hero, it deserves a healthy dose of respect.
Okay, respect? You say, we're talking about the thing that keeps the AC running, keeps my car going. This feels a little more serious than just changing a light bulb, right?
You got it. It's easy to get caught up in the fun facts, but at the end of the day, electricity is powerful stuff, and it deserves a healthy dose of caution. This isn't the time to get all DIY crazy, especially when you're dealing with something as essential as the yellow wire.
All right, message received. Putting down the screwdriver, stepping away from the electrical panel. But for those of us who, let's be honest, aren't electricians, what's the biggest takeaway here?
Knowing when to call in the pros. These are the folks who've spent years literally learning the language of electricity. Trust me, it's worth every penny to have them handle anything beyond the really basic stuff.
Okay, so major electrical work is a no-go unless I've got a license for that kind of thing. But what about those little things, like if a light switch gets stuck, or I want to try swapping out a fixture myself?
Even then, safety first. Always, always cut the power at the breaker box before you even think about touching a wire. And seriously, double check you've got the right circuit.
Noted. It's straight to the breaker box from now on. No more playing guessing games with the switches.
And while you're at it, ditch those rusty old tools. Insulated tools, those are your best friend when you're anywhere near electrical wiring. You want that extra layer of protection between you and any live current.
So basically, insulated tools are like those fancy oven mitts, but for electricity. Make sure I don't get zapped.
Exactly. And don't forget, you're grounded too, literally. Rubber-soled shoes, non-negotiable when you're working around electricity.
All right, insulated tools, rubber shoes. I'm feeling very official over here. Anything else to add to my safety checklist before I tackle that light fixture?
Absolutely. Never, and I mean never work on an electrical system when you're tired or rushed. Those moments when you're not paying attention. That's when mistakes happen. And with electricity, those mistakes can be, well, pretty serious.
Need top-quality electrical wire? Baboom Baboom's got you covered. Get your 6-pack today. Each combo comes in 6 different colors and a total of 600 feet of wire. Perfect for any project, and you won't find a better price in the industry. Head over to baboombaboom.com now to snag yours. That's baboombaboom.com.
Okay, no more late-night wiring projects for me. Got it. Safety first, full focus.
Now, speaking of being alert, remember how we talked about that yellow wire in your car's 12-volt system? Well, things get even more interesting when we start talking about the heavy hitters in your house, the appliances.
Well, we're going up a level with this, huh?
Yeah.
What's different about the wiring in those big appliances?
Think about it. Your oven, your dryer, that air conditioner that's working overtime right now, those things need a lot more juice to run than a little light bulb. That's where 220-volt circuits come in. They've got 2 hot wires instead of 1, each carrying 110 volts, which combine to give you that extra power. And guess what? The yellow wire, yep, it's a key player in these higher voltage systems too.
So we're not just talking about flipping on the lights anymore. It's about powering up the whole house.
Exactly. The yellow wire can handle the big leagues too. In fact, you'll often find it's running the show in those more complex setups like 3-way and 4-way switch configurations.
Hold on. 3-way, 4-way switches. This is starting to sound like something out of a sci-fi movie. What are we talking about here?
Imagine being able to control the same light from multiple places. So like at the top and bottom of your stairs or from different doorways into a room. That's the magic of those multi-switch setups and that yellow wire. It's the messenger that makes them work, ensuring all the switches are on the same page, so to speak.
Okay, so it's like a little communication network, but for light switches. That's pretty impressive.
It is. And it just goes to show how versatile and how important that yellow wire is in our homes. It's involved in everything from the simplest circuits to these more elaborate systems.
I gotta say, I am never looking at a light switch the same way again. Who knew there was so much going on behind that little plastic plate?
It's like we've pulled back the curtain and revealed a whole hidden world, right? I mean, we use electricity every single day, but we rarely stop and think about the intricate dance of wires and currents happening behind the walls.
It's true. It's like this secret language we all use but never really learn to speak. But even knowing a little bit about it, like what that yellow wire is up to, it makes you feel a little more connected to it all, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's about more than just being able to fix something when it breaks. It's about understanding these systems that quite literally power our lives. And who knows, maybe this newfound appreciation for the yellow wire will spark some curiosity about other everyday mysteries hiding in plain sight.
Right. If something as small as that little yellow wire can have such a huge impact, just imagine what other secrets are out there just waiting to be discovered.
Exactly. There's always something new to learn, and often the most fascinating discoveries, well, they're found in the things we encounter every single day.
Well said. So the next time I'm staring down a faulty lamp, I'm going to try to channel my inner electrician and remember the important role that trusty yellow wire plays.
And remember, safety first. Always a good idea to call in the professionals for anything beyond the basics, but a little knowledge. That's a powerful tool to have on hand.
Couldn't agree more. Well, I think it's safe to say we've shed some serious light on the mystery of the yellow wire today. This deep dive has been truly electrifying. Thanks for joining us on this journey to the heart of our homes and beyond. Until next time, stay curious.
It's funny, I'm looking at light switches totally differently now. Never really thought about all that's going on behind the scenes.
It's like we've uncovered this whole hidden world right under our noses. We use electricity every single day, but how often do we actually stop and appreciate the dance of wires and currents that make it all work?
It really is like the secret language, and most of us are just walking around completely clueless. But now that we're starting to pick up a few words, like what that yellow wire is trying to tell us, it's kind of empowering, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. This is about way more than just knowing how to fix something when it breaks. It's about gaining a deeper understanding of the systems that literally keep our modern lives running. And who knows, maybe this whole yellow wire adventure has sparked some curiosity about what other mysteries are hiding in plain sight. Right. Like if something as small and unassuming as that little yellow wire can have such a big impact, Just imagine what other secrets are out there waiting for us to uncover.
It's true. There's a whole world of fascinating things to discover, and often the most incredible finds are in the everyday things we take for granted.
Couldn't agree more. Well, I think it's safe to say we've definitely shined a light, no pun intended, on the mystery of the yellow wire today. Thanks for joining us on this electrifying deep dive into the heart of our homes and beyond. Until next time, stay curious.
Need top-quality electrical wire? Baboom Baboom's got you covered. Get your 6-pack today. Each combo comes in 6 different colors and a total of 600 feet of wire. Perfect for any project, and you won't find a better price in the industry. Head over to baboombaboom.com now to snag yours. That's baboombaboom.com.